Have you ever heard of the saint who saved a child from death with a simple act of faith? And what if I told you that, even today, millions of people turn to him when they feel something tightening in their throat, their chest, or even their soul? Perhaps this video did not reach you by chance. Today, I want to tell you the story of Saint Blaise, a man of deep faith whose life crossed centuries and continues to touch hearts to this day. Stay with me until the end, because there is a little known detail about Saint Blaise that can transform the way you see faith. Saint Blaise lived in the 3rd century in the region of Armenia, where part of modern-day Turkey is located. He was a physician, known for caring not only for the body but also for the soul of those who sought him. His way of life was simple, marked by prayer, charity, and an absolute trust in God. Over time, his faith and witness drew so much attention that he was chosen to be bishop of the city of Zabast. Even holding such an important position, Saint Blaise was never driven by power. On the contrary, he sought silence, humility, and a life ever closer to God. When harsh persecutions against Christians began, Saint Blaise withdrew to a cave in the mountains. There, according to tradition, he lived in deep communion with nature. Injured animals approached him, and with patience and care, he healed them. It was as if all creation recognized in that man a heart guided by God. But his faith could not remain hidden for long. He was found, arrested, and brought before the authorities for refusing to renounce his belief in Christ. During this period of imprisonment, the miracle that would make Saint Blaise known throughout the world took place. A desperate mother brought her son to him. The child was choking on a fishbone and could no longer breathe. Faced with a situation of life and death, Saint Blaise lifted a profound prayer, placing that child into God's hands. Immediately, the boy was healed. From that day on, Saint Blaise began to be invoked as the protector against diseases of the throat, and his intercession continues to be sought to this day. But did you know that this miracle was not the most impressive moment of Saint Blaise's life? What truly reveals the greatness of his faith was the way he faced the suffering that came afterward. Even imprisoned, tortured, and humiliated, he did not lose his peace or his trust in God. On the contrary, he continued to pray, to bless, and to strengthen those who came near him. His faith remained firm, even when everything around him seemed to collapse. If this story has already touched your heart, take a moment now to like this video. This simple gesture helps this message reach other people who also need hope. Before being executed, Saint Blaise offered one final prayer. He asked God that all those who would turn to his intercession, especially in times of illness and affliction, might receive help, comfort, and healing. Soon after, he gave his life as a martyr, remaining faithful until the very end. His death was not the end of his mission. On the contrary, it was the beginning of a legacy that has crossed generations. To this day, on the 3rd of February, churches all over the world celebrate the blessing of Saint Blaise, placing 2 crossed candles on the throat of the faithful, asking for protection, health, and deliverance. A simple gesture,